Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Deep Dive Volume 7. Today is a What's New episode because it's so big. We had to get in there and jump on and let everybody know and show you how you can benefit from this. We will be covering two major things today and potentially a third one as well if we have enough time, and I'm hoping we do. But the main aim of today is to cover our new Catalogue imaging and fields in the software and the Hafele Live Sync, which is absolutely fantastic. So what's new? We have released into the software images, supplier URLs, and descriptions in the catalog. And not just in the catalog. I can't wait to show you the benefit of this throughout the entire software. As well as that, we will be looking at the new phenomenal Hafele Live Sync. For any manufacturer in the world, you would know Hafele. They are one of the biggest hardware suppliers in the world. They are renowned for their quality, their support, and their service. They don't just support the cabinet making industry, they also are suppliers to a lot of different manufacturing sectors, from doors to joinery and beyond. So absolutely phenomenal that a company of that size, an international company, they represented in virtually every country in the world, would decide that Jobman is the ERP solution for them to be able to build this phenomenal link. And together as a collaboration, we've been able to put that together, which will solve yet another massive problem that companies face, especially when it comes to inventory and purchase order management. So I think it speaks volumes that when a company of that size and that prestige chooses to collaborate with you, that you can absolutely trust that what we're developing here is the right solution, not just for you, but for the industry as a whole. So very, very exciting. So I'm proud and slightly humbled to be able to present a live integration with Hafele accounts and Catalogue imaging, which is just absolutely phenomenal. I've been in solutions management for 25 plus years, and I've been very fortunate enough to be on the ground level of some pretty big developments in the world across a number of industries that I've worked in. And I can say without a doubt that this is probably one of the most exciting things I've certainly been able to go out and talk to people about, because it solves such big problems, real problems, day-to-day problems faced in manufacturing. Jobman, as you know, has such a plethora of benefits to the businesses that we engage, and certainly appreciate the clients that come on and see this solution for what it can do for their business. You know, from being an end-to-end system, a lot of areas where we save a lot of double handling, and we really put a huge amount of emphasis on the return of investment back to people. And one of the best things about Jobman is you can gain that return of investment very quickly. So you're not just investing into a technology and hoping that somewhere over the 6 months or 10 years from now, you'll be able to see that return. You can literally start gaining the benefit in days, if not weeks. And that is certainly what we've always aimed to do. And each time we release a massive new feature or functionality into the software, we are always foremost thinking about how best to benefit and serve our clients. How best can we bring that return back into your pocket faster, more effectively, and what problems can we really solve to take those headaches and stress and time delays and real profitability eaters in your business and make it into such a free-flowing platform that you can essentially benefit from that anywhere in the world. And that's one of certainly the best parts about Jobman, is being able to take those hats off your shoulders and be able to put that out to the team. And the key to that is data validation. As we all know, you need to be able to trust that you can take all your experience and knowledge and be able to put it in a platform so that any of your staff can then be trained to come in and utilize that knowledge to run your business for you, so that you literally can do what you the reason you started a business, which was so that you could work on your business, not in your business, and free up your time, because ultimately that is the key to any system, is seeing that return for you. And this is it. This is absolutely massive. So the first part of our release was in fact Catalogue images. Why is this so massive? There are a lot of inventory systems in the world, I'm not going to deny, but Inventory systems and catalog management systems provide a lot of benefit to streamlining your purchase ordering, giving a lot of, efficiency to the way in which you can batch order, really lower your costs from suppliers by being able to put orders together, have them tracked, have them linked up to jobs, and Jobman does that phenomenally well. But one of the biggest things about inventory and catalog management systems is they tend to rely on descriptions or names, SKUs, which are ultimately just numbers. And when you're dealing with most major suppliers, they may have upward of 10,000 items in their catalog. You may only interact with about 500 of them, let's say on a regular basis. But the fact that you are continuously ordering these items it's virtually impossible to have anyone in your business know what every single one of these things means. So the biggest thing about an inventory management system or a purchase ordering system such as Jobman that people love is it does improve that efficiency. But the bigger problem, the bigger day-to-day headache that companies definitely face, and I promise you, if you sat down and thought about it, and just think about the last month, the number of times where you've had to reach out to a supplier because something's been ordered incorrectly, or the wrong thing has been placed on the item spec for that customer, which is then in turn had gone through the system and reached purchase ordering and been ordered incorrectly and then has to be reordered. Little things like this have huge impacts on businesses, whether they be small, medium, or large. They cost real money. And it's not always, it's not just a simple case of blaming somebody. You can't be expected to remember all those SKUs, all those descriptions and names. Even with fantastic filtration like Jobman has into categories and then by supplier, you can really hone that information, but it's not the same as being able to see it. And if you think about the number of times that has happened, and then you've got to then reach out to the supplier, you've got to order new things, there's credits that need to be involved sometimes. That's a lot of your time chewed up and your team's time chewed up. Not just that, but anytime a mistake like this happens, it then has a tendency to push out production because you might be waiting on the order and you have a plan to cut and deliver by Friday. So you can start your manufacturing process on Monday and then things arrive and things are wrong. And that means we immediately have to then push out that production. Sometimes it's one thing, it's very small, and it may not feel like a huge inconvenience, but sometimes it can be a large part of the ordering process, which in fact turns that project or job into quite a delay. And as we know, that then has an impact on your critical dates, whether they be dispatch or install. And that is a real massive cost waste in a lot of businesses. And if you think about the number of times that's happened just in the last month, then I want you to multiply that by the number of months of the year, and then I want you to multiply that by the number of years you've been in business. We're talking about potentially tens of thousands to some companies I've spoken to already, where this is a couple of $100,000 worth of solutions management right here, being able to fix this problem. So what have we done? We've put catalog imaging into the catalog with some fantastic technologies so that you can use both thumbnail, what we call low-res URL imaging, and high-res imaging, which means even as you're navigating through the catalog, you can hover over those items and see in a really crisp detail. The way we've developed it as well is especially beneficial to clients because we've utilized URLs rather than live picture imaging into the system. It means there's no defect or slowdown to your actual browsing, which is fantastic. That was a big thing. We wanted to make sure that the solution was both easy for our clients to use, but also to make sure that we didn't then slow down the software and impact your day-to-day usage of it. So this is a fantastic solution. It doesn't just take the first step, it takes 2 or 3 steps down the line to make sure that we definitely have the right solution for you for this problem. Even bigger than that, we haven't just put it in the catalog. We've placed the imaging setup in the catalog so that you've got a centralized area where you can see the imaging and URLs and descriptions, but then we've been able to put that and populate that throughout the rest of the software. So everywhere where you would interact with catalog items, you can now see that imaging. For example, purchase orders, adding materials directly to quotes or item specs in our browsers, bringing it through into the inventory, even right down to material picking inside the kiosk. So it's not just a solution for those that are ordering on a day-to-day basis and interact with your catalog. It then puts this imaging everywhere. So we have just absolutely removed the guesswork out of the entire system for what it is you're adding, entering, and then ordering. And that is just phenomenal. It's one of those solutions where you can take that concept and you can use it virtually across any supplier in your catalog system. It's not difficult to set up, and I'm going to show you a bit of that today, how you can benefit from it, even if you don't necessarily deal with Hafele or one of our integration partners. You'll be able to benefit from this either way. And already we're hearing reports of the release has only been out for a week of companies going through, and they're absolutely using this to the nth degree because they know the problem this solves. Your team knows what that item is. You know what that item is. You have that confidence. You have that data validation. It's no longer just an SKU. It's a thing. And you're ordering it directly from your purchase ordering system and your catalog inventory management system, all live. Absolutely fantastic. But we didn't just stop there. When we see a problem in an industry or in manufacturing in general, we tackle it. We really like to make sure that we've covered everything and given you every availability of option to absolutely help you with that day-to-day issue and get that or minimize or mitigate that problem in your business and put that money back in your pocket. So on top of just the imaging, we've also put in supplier URLs so you can direct link out to your supplier website. It's phenomenal. It's like having their catalog now in your system. You don't need to be tracking to multiple different places. Everything you need, all the information is at your fingertips. And we have supplier URLs, descriptions. They're a big one that often come from supplier websites where there might be important information around the installation or usage of that catalog material. So you now have that in Jobman. And then if you need further validation, it's one click to go from Jobman directly out to the supplier website. Just double check. It's like checks within checks within checks within checks to make sure that these mistakes don't happen. And this problem is absolutely solved for your business, which is just awesome. I cannot convey how excited I am to be able to share this with you. Fantastic development. And more importantly, it solves such a big real world problem. In line with that, for those of you who are probably aware, we've also had a live integration with Hafele for some time, which allowed clients to put together one-touch purchase ordering and then really streamline the process for which they can order via our system directly out to Hafele using your account. This is the most important thing about this API connection is it's your account. So it's your pricing. It's giving live feedback from your supplier end. And it's already had wondrous effects in many businesses, not just from the ability to batch order and then speed up that ordering by utilizing the one-touch ordering, but also then to be able to come in and get instantaneous return of information relevant to that order. Things like ETDs on those, the expected items, where items are out of stock, pricing changes. So if your catalog isn't up to date, the API was able to return those pricing changes so you could fix your catalog and make sure that all your quoting and your purchase ordering going forward is up to date. I mean, the system itself has always been extremely easy for people to be able to come in. And once you've got your catalog in there, to be able to export it and make those changes. So you now, for the first time, probably in most businesses ever, have the ability to manage and keep on top of your pricing and cost structures. You're not worried about the fact that you might be quoting on something that, was from a pricing 5 years ago, and you're quoting yourself out of the job before you've even started. That was level 1. We've now been able to go straight to level 3. Excuse me. Which is absolutely amazing. So the new upgrade for the Hafele Sync is now that it is a live sync management system with your Hafele account. So what does that mean? Couple of big things. Number one, and this is certainly a big thing that a lot of clients have been looking forward to, is the fact that we can sync previous orders. So if you're new to Jobman or you've not yet taken the path down where you've set up your catalog and inventory, maybe you've been utilizing it as a work management system and a quoting system and a CRM, and you've been really thinking about looking forward to using more of the software, but you've been concerned about the time frame to set up. This absolutely just blows that away. This is now a 2-step process in which you can step into the software, connect to your Hafele account, run a live sync from previous purchase orders up to, I think it's about a year or a little bit beyond, and bring through all the catalog items, not just their entire catalog, but the catalog items you buy So it's not just bringing in the entire catalog, it's bringing in the most relevant catalog for you. Alongside that, we've also been able to develop a way in which case, if you have those items, so you have SKUs currently in the system, and you have put that information in for your Hafele cataloging, you can now utilize that sync to update all that information. And we just won't pull through and update your pricing. We're going to pull through and update your images, your supplier URLs, your descriptions, your note fields. We're going to normalize your naming conventions. In a couple of clicks and a couple of minutes, you will have access to a fully functioning Hafele catalog in your system that you can then run and choose to update as you need. So you'll be able to come in when price changes happen, or, and it's just a fact of life. Things change. You'll be able to run those numbers. If you need to go order something new, you can simply place the SKU and naming convention in Jobman and then run a sync. We'll bring the rest of the details down for you. That doesn't just keep your information live and validated all the time. It means the setup now to be able to utilize this and benefit from this for your company can happen day one. And that, honestly, that is the big news. I cannot explain how phenomenal that is. Everyone knows that ERPs are only as good as the data you put in. The data you put in is the data you get out. And absolutely, Jobman is so phenomenal. We make it fairly easy in most areas for you to be able to get it up and running and set it up and move forward and take advantage of this and really see that return. This just virtually makes it instantaneous. Day one, you can come in, you can upgrade your subscription, take on the supplier integrations, and then reach out to Hafele, get your account, set them up, connect them, and start benefiting from it. Day one. Phenomenal. And then you can utilize this sync technology to then keep it up to date in the future, which is just amazing. We've also put some really clever smarts in there to make sure that if, say, for example, when you first came into the system and you did place in, let's say, all 10,000 Hafele items, and you've gone through meticulously over time and you've removed components of that, that you want to be able to then not have those items resync back in. You can do that as well. It's a very, very, very clever synchronization process, and it will gain a lot of benefit over a long period of time. That's just going to keep reinvesting back in your company over and over and over again, to the point where you'll sort of, the issues will become a thing of the past. And I think that's an absolutely fantastic way for any business to be able to bring on and implement an ERP in a true sense. So let's dive in. Let's have a bit of a look. I want to show you a couple of areas very quickly around the software and this new synchronization, just so you can get a feel. And most importantly, of course, see those catalog images live in the system and the benefit to your business, so you can really start benefiting from them today. Which is awesome. So, as I said, in order to take advantage of the Hafele integration, all we really need to do is just two things to get this up and running. Number one is reach out to us and upgrade your subscription to make sure that you've got access to supplier integrations. Absolutely worth the upgrade. I know that some people say, oh, modules, it's a bit of a hum and ah, how much benefit will I get from this? We're talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars back in your pocket for a very small fee per month. So I think most people will agree, absolutely worth it. Second thing you'll need to do, and this is all documented, so don't worry, you can reach out to Hafele and pick up your organizational details. It is a particular link. It's designed a specific way to be able to connect our software to your account, with everything being encrypted and protected their end, so that it's a nice, safe and secure connection. Sorry, so excited. As part of that, at the timing of this webinar, I just want to make it known so that there's no overpromise here. Currently, this is live in Australia and New Zealand. However, it will not be very long at all until this will be available worldwide. So right now, just so you're aware, at the time of this video, you might be watching this in the future, and it probably won't be the case, but just so we're very clear, as of today, it's available in Australia and New Zealand. And then as more and more clients come on board in other areas, and we're certainly picking up a lot of clients in Europe and the UK, Canada, America right now, big growth area for the software because there isn't many solutions available to them. We know that will push out, and then the need will be there, and we'll be able to develop and ensure that this is available in every other country. So that's step one. Easy. Step two, we can then come into our materials, and once this is turned on for you, you will notice a new synchronization button here, specific currently to Hafele, but I have no doubt that one of the questions I am going to get at the end of this is, are there going to be other suppliers coming on board? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. We're just so stoked that Hafele was the first. So the new synchronization is really clear and really easy to use and gives you absolute control over the way in which you bring this data in. So for example, you can sync, as I said, previous orders. So if you're new to the software or you have not yet set up your catalog, this is a very fast way of them being able to get that information directly in so that you've got your Hafele catalog ready to go. And you can choose some timeframes around which you want to bring that through. I think there's a custom field option, but I think it maximizes, I'm fairly certain, about 2 years. So we don't want to put too much data beyond that point in your system. And to be honest, neither do you probably want that coming in. You really want the most up-to-date data with the most number of items that you use on a regular basis. Secondary to that, you have a couple of options here, which will allow you then to not just utilize this the first time, but use this in a continuous fashion. So you can sync the existing catalog materials in your system. So like I said, if you've gone in, you have your Hafele items in here, you can jump in, click this button. What we're going to do is we're going to start bringing those details through for you. Secondary to that, we have the update pricing. Now, this is the one, after you've done this the first time, that you will probably use the most. Whether it be once every 6 months or a year or whenever those pricing changes come through, you can simply come in at any point and say, just update my pricing, run the sync. It will connect out to the API, look at your account pricing, and then bring through and update the system. However, as you're going along, and as would be with most people, let's say you decided to sync the last year of purchase orders and you filled your catalog up, over time there are going to be more items that are going to come in. You're always ordering different and new things, and I know Hafele has such a phenomenal range of items that you can pick up from their hardware solutions. So one of the great things is you can come in and let's say you go looking for a new item for your system. You can add that SKU and naming field into the software and then run this sync, and we'll pull through the rest of the details for you. So it's that easy just to keep it live and up to date, and make sure that you're certainly pulling through the correct information all the time so that you're up to date. On top of that, as I said, we have a couple of new options here with the syncing just to make sure that you are in control of how you'd like to manage your catalog. For a lot of companies, they would go out to each of their suppliers and they might not necessarily pull through the whole catalog. They might deal with 9 or 10 suppliers and they want the most commonly used 500 items, for example. So they will reach out, they will get the information, but they might only choose then to filter that CSV and bring in about 500 items for each catalog. Alternatively, some people would go in and utilize this and take the entire catalog and then place that catalog in their system and then delimit it. So go through and just remove a lot of the stuff they don't use, just so it's not confusing for the purchase ordering team. They don't have to worry about things accidentally being ordered, and you might trash out those items in our system. That's fine. One of the benefits of this is so long as you do not click this button here, we won't go adding those new items back in when you sync. So don't worry about the hard work you've done. We've got you covered and protected. And within minutes of starting this sync, you will notice almost immediately that your catalog will start to fill out with items. And we ran a live sync last night just to bring some data into the software and bring some items in just so you could see how easy it was for that information to come through. It only takes a couple of minutes and it starts filling up. You don't have to watch the sync finish. You can start the sync, jump into your catalog, and literally in front of your eyes, you'll start to see this information come through. And of course, the big one that we all want to see is then what comes in. So on top of the naming conventions being normalized, SKU pricing supplier and the units per measurement rates, we also now bring in your images, and we have a couple of new fields for you, description and external URL, which are absolutely fantastic. So you can see now, just like that, throughout my software, I start to pick up all of the imaging for all of the items linked out to the SKUs directly in the platform, in the software. You can see how high resolution they are. It's very easy to see what these things are. And because they have a hover mechanism, they're not going to get in the way of you navigating the page, which is fantastic. And all that just came through on the sync, ready to go. You can see there's a couple of items there where evidently the items have been replaced in the imaging. I have to update my catalog to make sure I have the right SKUs, but it's now a very simple and quick fix. I can go in and find that information. More importantly, though, we've also brought through new information fields relevant to your catalog items. So things like descriptions, these are commonly used on supplier websites to be able to give you even more advanced information relevant to the item you're ordering. And often, quite specifically, they include or cover inclusions or how in which you might need to understand how to install or utilize them. You think about an Inventor system and things like that, where you want some measurements just to make sure that once this item is actually placed, it is going to be relative and suitable to the thing you're manufacturing. So being able to pull that information through as well now just gives you so much information relevant to each of those items in the software that, again, data validation, you are absolutely 100% knowing what you're ordering is correct. And then if you really need to double check as well, or there's further bits of information you want to see or anything along those lines, having those supplier URLs now mean you can take this information and directly from Jobman go out to your supplier catalog. Every step is covered. You're protected on every level. We have run this in a world first with a large Hafele client live to ensure that we could definitely data validate, make sure it was absolutely 100% rather than just use testing data. And we were absolutely stoked that they connected up. They ran this sync. Their items came through virtually seamlessly. I think the whole process took about 2 minutes, and we were able to validate virtually every price in the system through some spot checking virtually immediately. So absolutely brilliant. Now, the second part to that is, and I know the question's going to come up, what if I don't deal with Hafele? What if I'm in a manufacturing industry that doesn't deal with Hafele? Or simply I have a whole pile of other suppliers in my system that I'd like to benefit from. I can see the benefit of this, and it's worth maybe getting someone in our team to spend a little bit of time to get this information into Jobman ahead of potentially the future of whether or not we might have a connection with them. So you still want to benefit from this. And I think every industry can definitely benefit from this because it is such a fantastic upgrade to a purchase ordering management system. The good news is all of the data points that we use for the syncing have now been added to the software as well. So you will have noticed this week that your catalog management system now has some new fields which you can utilize, and you can put this information in manually, or if you're fairly clever with Excel and CSVs, you can even export your data, go grab the data fields you're looking for, put them onto that export CSV, and then import that back into your software and make the updates. So what are the new fields? We've got the main field here you would have seen before would be the notes. We also now have descriptions. So you have options for internal information relative to the catalog item and external information, the information the supplier wants you to have. And these, quite often, you can find that information inside their website. So you can see that information, decide what components of that information are relevant to your business and to put it in here. Secondary to that, we have an external URL link. So as part of the sync, we will fill this for you naturally so that you have direct link to the supplier, but you can easily come in here, like I said, if you're not utilizing the sync or it's for a different supplier or for your industry, and simply copy that URL and place that in here, and now you have that external link. The last and probably most important one is, of course, the imaging, the big one. So you'll notice that we've put two image URL slots here, and they've been done intentionally. One is for a thumbnail. So this is what you'll see in the catalog and areas throughout the software. And one is what we call a feature URL. Now, if you're like me, excuse me. Oh dear, I'm getting over a couple of weeks of being fairly ill. So please do accept my apologies. If you're like me and you're not 100% across what that means specifically, it's nice and easy. So when you see images on a website, they generally come in a couple of formats. This here is called a thumbnail. So it's a slightly lower res image, small, it's designed to load fast, so you can get a quick feel for what you're looking at without necessarily having to go find a larger item. So to get the URL is nice and easy. Simply right click on the image, and then you'll see here that there's a thing called an image address. I believe on Windows, it's called an image link address. That's what you want. So you're not actually copying the image, we're taking the URL. And the reason why that's so beneficial to your business is, number one, you don't need to worry about going to a website, right-clicking an item, saving the picture, putting it into a file, going back into Jobman, uploading it, waiting for it to load, and then every time you load your page, it's got to go through that sequence again. This is now instant, so I can copy this image address and simply place it directly into this field. Bang. And then same thing again for the high res image. So copy the image address, and now you've got the high res image in the system. You do not have to have both images in there. So it's worth noting that for a lot of companies, they might not necessarily be, their website might not be as advanced as Hafele, and they might not have both options on there. You can simply place the high-res image URL in both fields, and it will do the same thing. It isn't really going to slow down the software in any way, shape, or form. It's just completely up to you. Or you can place one field and not the other. It's not a problem. But this is how you can quickly and easily benefit from this, even if this is not a sync supplier. And we have already got phenomenal feedback from clients who have seen the absolute potential of this in their business, and they're starting to do this process. And why? Why, you ask, is it so important? Because of that data validation. Spending a little bit of time to get this information into your system potentially is going to put hundreds of thousands of dollars back in your pocket from lost mistakes, lost productivity, wastage mitigation. And they're real numbers. That's a real effect in your business. On top of the stress, I can't put a number on the stress for the number of times. I've walked into manufacturing businesses before, and they're on the phone to their reps in a screaming match, and it's not nice. It's not how we want to conduct business. So by being able to mitigate this, we are absolutely not just improving your life, but the life of your team and the lives of the suppliers. And I think that's a very important reason as to why we consider this to be such a massive solution. This is an industry beneficial solution. It's not just good for our clients. We haven't just released it because it's going to just benefit Jobman clients. This will also then help relationships in your ecosystem. It's going to improve your flow and process and help everybody to do better business. And I think that's just an absolutely phenomenal standpoint and value proposition for any company. So really easy. Fantastically easy to set up. You can imagine that if you were utilizing the Hafele Live integration, that this would then be a two-step process. Upgrade your subscription, enter your details, get your details from Hafele, put them in the system, go and hit sync. Bang, you're running, you're operational today. Fantastic. And then if it's not Hafele, or if it's a different company, or you have other solution areas you want to see, not a problem. Spend a little bit of time, get that data in, and see and reap the benefits going forward from there. But as I said, it's not just your catalog. We've also taken the length to be able to go out and ensure that we can put this everywhere where it's relevant to your software. So in purchase orders, inside your quoting of browse materials, you can see it in your inventory. As these items come through and you start filling up your inventory in Jobman, I can add items and pull those in and see those images, descriptions right there where I need to see them. Now, I've intentionally turned this off just so that in case you are currently using Jobman, you're saying, oh, this looks fantastic, Cam, but I've added these things and I can't see the data. Nice and easy. All you need to do is add in the column. So anywhere where this data can be relevantly used, such as the purchase ordering, inventory management, right down to the kiosk, their ability to pick list items and receive purchase orders now can come with imaging. You might just need to turn these columns on. And it's worth noting that one of the great benefits of Jobman is that columns are user-based. So you can turn on the columns that are relevant to you as part of your role using the software. So it's not global. It's not just that someone's going to turn this on and everyone's going to suddenly be, oh, there's images everywhere. You can go in and choose to bring them in. So if they're not relevant to your use of Jobman, but you do need to access the catalog, for example, you don't have to turn the column on, but you absolutely can. And then once that's turned on, these will start populating and coming into the area at all points, which is fantastic and easy, which is cool. From the kiosk side, you can see it in the purchase order receivable if you've given your team the ability to receive purchase orders. So now they've got another data validation point when they come in. Please note that most kiosk users are on phone or mobile. There's no such thing as hover technology, unfortunately, for mobile or tablets thus far. There's no mouse. So it is the smaller image size, but potentially in the future, there might be an upgrade where we can take advantage of advances in technology and be able to do something there as well. But the best part about that is they can at least see the imaging. So you're getting more data validation come through, which is fantastic. It can also be added when anywhere you would go into the system and you'd use the browse material function. You can now turn the images, so things like specs and quotes where you're adding materials directly in. You'll now be able to see those items, see those details, and see the imaging, which is fantastic. I think I've said that about 20 times. I'll try stop saying that now. Just very, very pumped. This is an incredible solution for a lot of businesses. So I hope that's given you a really good rundown of the benefit of this and how easy it is for you to set it up and use it. It looks like I got a little bit of time. So I want to show you one last thing that came out in the last releases as well, which is very exciting and something we've been certainly waiting for, which I think will be of a lot of benefit to companies. And that is an update to what we call the filtration system for our statuses. So one of the great things about Jobman reporting, as you know, is it's very versatile, very flexible. You can build a lot of custom reports and pull the data you need out of your system live to make sure that you're on top of everything. But one of the common questions we got around our statuses were, what did it actually mean? So if you filtered a report and you filtered a status, for example, by pre-production, does it mean I'm looking for all the jobs that are currently in pre-production? Am I looking for jobs that were in pre-production, etc.? So the date ranging behind these systems was designed in such a way that it was just a static field. So it was just, so long as it was in that status or completed in that status, you would see that data. What we've now done, which is fantastic, is we've given you conditional status reporting. So you now have some options to choose what about that status in regards to this report do you want to know? For example, do I want to know how many of the jobs were in pre-production during the period this month? Filter that data. Would I prefer to know that I want to see all the jobs for their costing where they entered the status of pre-production during this period or exited the status? So you've now got a lot finer control over the period handling for which you can see the status information. And there's a lot of use cases for this. There's a lot of benefit to being able to choose where things come in and out based on the status. For example, most people would be reporting on like job closed on that critical area. And you might be running your reports and saying, okay, show me all the jobs closed in the last month so I can see my numbers and start doing my job costing or my work in progress or my lead testing, for example. But you might want to know the comparison point. So you might want to know, for example, if it was a lead report, how many leads entered the lead awarded status last month, because that's what you really want to know. You want to know how many leads do we win, basically. The other good thing about this is multi-select. So you might want to run a report that's then filterable and exportable on the number of leads that have come in or entered both the lead awarded and the lead lost status. So then we can run our numbers, run our comparison, look at our month and say, hey, 400 people came to us and we won 220 of them. They entered lead awarded and 180 of them were lost. Awesome. Okay, so we're at about a 50 to 60% win rate. What can we do to improve that? And that's how you can really utilize Jobman to get some fast benefit from your reporting. And I think this is a massive upgrade, really, for being able to isolate information in the way you want to see it. And I think it just makes it a bit clearer for people. I think one of the big things when we were looking at the reports, we had a few client feedback responses that said the reporting is excellent, but I don't seem to be getting the data I want. And, we had to spend a bit of time explaining to people how those statuses worked. So we realized that obviously this is a common thing, that people want a bit more finer control, but also they want to be really clear about what they're trying to achieve with the report. And whenever we get feedback like that, one of the great things about this company is the team gets on it and they like to help solve the problem even further. So that's now out and live in your software as well as the imaging and the Hafele live sync and the URL descriptions all in live now. So if you wish to benefit from this, you can absolutely jump in and start using this today and get the best benefit from this for your business. I don't think there's much more I really need to say about this. I know it's super exciting. There's a lot going on there, but I think that really covers everything we sort of need to know about the area and how you can benefit from it. As I said, even if you don't deal with Hafele or you're not currently synced up, or if you're a different industry, you can still benefit from the catalog imaging, you can come in, make these changes, get your inventory up to date. And it doesn't have to be an all-in process as well. It's one of the common questions I get when people are tackling ERPs. It's like, well, do I have to go in and do all of this before I can start benefiting? And I always say, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Think of any data management solution as a work in progress over time. You know what I mean? When you first started with your accounting software, there wasn't much information in there. But as you started adding invoices and numbers and tweaking settings to make sure that your invoice templates went out right, and you updated your payroll settings so that your staff became easier and you gave them some automation. You didn't have to do that all today to start benefiting from having your accounting platform working. Jobman is the same. You can come in and you can have a process now where you're like, hey guys, we want to build this catalog and we want to make it phenomenal. So over time, just want you to do me a favor. As you're coming across catalog materials, before you purchase order it, just duplicate the page, add those details from the supplier thing, and now it's done. It's in there forever. And if at any point in the future, Jobman and that company are able to build a live integration via sync like we've done with Hafele, you'll get the benefit of being able to update those details and keep them updated forever. And that's absolutely phenomenal. Will Jobman show any items that are out of stock items or not stocked items from the Hafele catalog? Fantastic question, Caleb. When you run the sync, no. So if they've been removed from their catalog, for example, they're not going to come into your software. Similarly, if you've had items that you've deleted or archived over time because of your catalog, you might have been dealing with Hafele for a long time and Jobman for a long time. Those items, if you're assuming you choose not to then sync them to the trashed or what we call deleted items in our system, they won't come back through. Now, what the system won't do currently is if Hafele obviously updates an item and makes it unavailable to order, because the data is still in your system, we're not going to just remove that data. One of the good things about our software, though, is you can simply go in and choose a tab and use a drop-down menu and change that from available to order to not available for order. And now you don't have to worry about the team being able to add those to purchase orders. We don't get rid of them, though, because whilst Jobman is designed to be a live sync catalog system, we're also your inventory management system. So just because it's no longer stocked by a supplier, and we'll use Hafele as an example, doesn't mean you haven't got some sitting on the shelves. So we don't simply want to remove it from your software. We need the historic reference point there. It'll still be there. You can simply come in and change it. But no, as a live synchronization, assuming you were doing this the first time, we wouldn't bring those through those items. That's not to say that if you have an extended catalog right now, it might not pick them up. And you would have noticed there was 2 examples I had in the software there where the images had been removed. And that the reason we allow you to see that information is because now it's easy for me to go, I bet they're now out of stock items. Jump on the website. Yep, check the SKU. They're now out of stock. Cool. I can now choose for my business whether I will archive that item, just get it out of my catalog, but have the historic reference there, or just change them not available to order. So we leave that power in your position, but by default, no, the sync isn't going to go looking for trashed or out of sync items.